Howdy, I hope you're having a good day. Silver Trade here again with another video. GameStop's investment just jumped 10%, putting another $50 million on their balance sheet. That stapler we were talking about yesterday just broke $200,000, and Ryan Cohen actually upped the ante, promising a dinner, and we have some brand new tin to talk about. But please remember, none of this is financial advice, we are not financial advisors, and this video is made for entertainment purposes only. Today on July 10th, Bitcoin has been absolutely ripping, topping out at about $118,000. GameStop originally had about $500 million in there, now they have about $550 million in there. Just a couple of months ago, GameStop announced that they bought Bitcoin, and they're already up $50 million on that. Seems like a pretty good investment. And Bitcoin normally starts actually moving up about 18 months after the halving cycle. So they timed it very well, but we're not going to get too deep into that. And this just came out today. Citadel Securities buys Morgan Stanley option market maker. Some people believe Citadel did this because Roaring Kitty uses E-Trade and Morgan Stanley bought E-Trade a while back, and so maybe Kenny wants a peek at the inside of Roaring Kitty's account. There's no way they bought Morgan Stanley just to look at Roaring Kitty's account. We all know that banks talk and they're all in cahoots with each other. Citadel now holds significant control over liquidity infrastructure in the United States equity options market. Retail and institutional traders increasingly interact with tech-empowered market makers rather than traditional banks. This shift may contribute to broader debates about market structure, transparency, and fairness. Citadel Securities buying Morgan Stanley's options market making unit raises compelling strategic and quantitative questions, especially if we consider the possibility of absorbing legacy swap exposure, including GameStop-related derivatives. And we recently talked about how PSA is going to start grading comic books, and here's a sneak peek at that. It's pretty weird to see a PSA grading with a decimal and an extra digit, but it makes sense because there's definitely more to look at in comic books than just one little trading card. GameStop has leaned pretty hard and heavy into trading cards recently. They have Disney trading cards, Harry Potter trading cards. I mean, you stinking name it. Everybody is making their own trading cards nowadays. And so I wonder if GameStop's going to start leaning more into comic books as well. And Buck the Bunny, GameStop's mascot, posted this today with his cheeks to the moon. The Buck Moon will be at its fullest on Thursday, July 10th. I don't know about the moon looking its fullest, but it's certainly looking its thickest. And so you remember that $100,000 stapler we were talking about yesterday. Ryan Cohen posted again about it. He said, if this reaches 7 figures, I will fly the winner to Miami, take them to McDonald's for lunch, and personally deliver my pre-owned underwear. And the stapler is now at $217,000 for the stapler and the Nintendo Switch 2. And some Ryan Cohen tidy whities. 153,000 people have viewed this in the last 24 hours. And we recently did the math and talked about how if each investor was just holding 43 shares of GameStop, theoretically the entire float would be locked. There being GameStop investors who are willing to throw $200,000+ at this, and even over $100,000 at this, shows that there are some pretty large whales in the retail army. The auction ends in 5 days from now. And if it hits $1 million, that person's going to get McDonald's with Ryan Cohen. I love how they turned a silly mistake into something great for charity. And speaking of charity, bet you didn't see that one coming. Right now we're doing a challenge, and we're actually 1/10 of the way there. We are slightly ahead of schedule now. For every one new subscriber we get, that will be $1 donated to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. The challenge ends on episode 200, and so far we are at 50 out of 500, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. So please consider liking and subscribing. We're getting ready to talk about more stocks than just GameStop. A lot of people have thought that it was kind of weird how Ryan Cohen's going to offer McDonald's to whoever spends $1 million on a stapler, a Switch 2, and some tidy whities. This gentleman right here had a picture of McDonald's X account saying, "You won 7/10/25." And he took this screenshot back on June 18th of 2025. July 10th of 2025. Really weird how that lines up almost a month later. Is this a subtle hint from Ryan Cohen that we've won? McDonald's on their X account right now has, "I'm retiring, you won, snack wrap is back." Could this be why he's talking about McDonald's? And today, July 10th, is National Kitten Day. Not to be confused with National Cat Day, which is on October 29th. National Cat Day is normally when Roaring Kitty posts, "Happy Cat Day, everyone." But he didn't do it this most recent time. He uses the account Avocado in My Anus, and we know that's his account because he mentioned it in his memes. And I just wanted to throw it out there, but at one point in The Simpsons, they hinted at GameStop hitting over $1 trillion. And then GameStop also going down to $2 trillion. And I'm sure most of you know about time decay, or theta, in options, but just in case you don't, look at this graph. So you buy an option, and then theta takes away premium or money from that option every day. Theta decay starts out pretty slow, but then really speeds up the closer we get to expiration. If an option has 120 to 90 days left, the theta decay is very small. If you have 90 to 60 days until expiration, the theta speeds up a little bit, but still nothing too crazy. If you have 30 to 60 days until an option expires, theta really starts ramping up, but that last 30 days of an option's lifespan, the last 30 days until an option expires, that's where theta really ramps up. And so really, best case scenario, you'll be able to get out of your option plays 30 days before they expire, so that way theta doesn't start eating at your premium. And this is why people always recommend longer dated options. And right now, there's a staggering $7.4 trillion now sitting in money market funds, which is an all-time new high. Pretty crazy to think about it, but GameStop recently parked $8 billion inside of a money market fund, generating them 4.7% interest every year. So they are 1/1000th of this. You know, GameStop, the 14th largest publicly traded holder of Bitcoin. For GameStop, tomorrow is Friday, and max pain is at $23 per share. Max pain for a stock is where the most amount of options will expire worthless. So they're probably going to do everything they can to get GameStop below $23 per share tomorrow. The midline for GameStop on the daily chart is at $23.50, and I would love for us to get above that tomorrow, but it's a Friday. They might announce another offering because they've done it at the last two earnings calls, but at the same time, GameStop investors are really expecting this next earnings call to be pretty good for the stock. It should be their 5th quarter in a row of profitability. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably priced in that GameStop will do another share offering at their next earnings, which brings uncertainty and suppresses GameStop. If they end up not doing a share offering, it could be really bullish for the stock. And even though GameStop's not moving a whole lot, look at that MACD signal line, slowly working its way up. And really quickly, thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. I really wish there was more to talk about with GameStop, but that's just how it is with stocks. There's not always going to be a ton of new stuff to talk about each and every day. We talked about this not long ago, but we really have our eye on DJT, Donald Trump stock. He holds about half of the shares. The market cap's only at about $5 billion right now. They just raised $2.5 billion to go out and buy some Bitcoin soon. In June, they announced that they would be doing a share buyback of 15 to 20% of the stock, or $400 million worth of their stock. And in Q1 of 2024, they lost about $300 million, but in Q1 of 2025, they only lost about $31 million. So an improvement of 90%. They only have about $30 million worth of debt and $750 million cash, not including their $2.5 billion to go and buy Bitcoin soon. And we haven't seen the Bollinger Bands this tight at the bottom of the wedge yet. AMD Advanced Micro Devices is always a good call. Well, except for the last year, I guess. But this is Nvidia's biggest competition. Nvidia has a $4 trillion market cap, while AMD is only at $230 billion. AMD's revenue year over year is up 35%. Their net income is up 476%. Earnings per share is up 500%, and their net profit margin is up almost 10%. People have never liked AMD more, and the stock is still nowhere near all-time highs. Last stock we're going to talk about is OpenDoor Technologies. This gentleman says, "I like them, but OpenDoor, I bought my house through them, and they are a bunch of freaking idiots. They lost money on my house in 2023. How is that even possible?" That's why the stock is so cheap. They used to have a horrible operations, but they're under new management and cleared and clean up their act. The price to sales right now is 0.1, so it should still blow up once the market realizes new management is competent. And their off-exchange volume is some of the highest I have ever seen, sitting around 90 to 70% consistently for over a month now. Today on July 10th, the off-exchange volume was at 73%. So to me, it seems like banks have been just pushing this thing down as much as possible to capitalize on their shorts as much as possible, and now maybe they start to cover those shorts, especially with Reddit piling in. It bottomed out at 50 cents and now it's at 90 cents, so not even 100% from the bottom yet. I really just see this as a momentum play, and I figured I would show y'all. And I'm going to make another video and dive more into these stocks over the weekend. And if the Fed cuts rates, that should really help this thing out as well. But thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. I really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, please leave me a like. I hope you found value in this, and God bless you.